John, you started to inject steam in your Onion Lake thermal project phase 2 this winter, and you have now seen quite an increase in the oil production. Is it going according to plans? Are you happy?
We are pleased with initial results. We've concluded the steam warm-up phase, and now we are beginning the production ramp-up. And the production ramp-up for phase 2 should look very similar to phase 1, where we reach design capacity in 9 to 12 months. So we should reach design capacity for phase 2 in Q1 of 2019.
So, as far as I understand, your production is about to increase by some 60%. Very impressive. Can you tell us a little bit more about current production and what the plans are?
We started 2018 at about 10,500 barrels per day, and we are on track to end the year at 14,000 barrels a day. And by this time next year, we will be at 16,000 barrels a day, all due to the ramp up of phase 2.
So phase 2 of Onion Lake expansion is apparently going very well. Can you expand further after that phase?
Thermal production will be 12,000 barrels a day by this time next year, and we have the reserves to support 20,000 barrels a day for 20 years. So we do see further expansion beyond 12,000 barrels a day. We don't have a final plan for a third phase in terms of the cost or the timing, but we hope to sanction it sometime next year.
Not only is your production increasing sharply right now, you also have very low production costs, from what I understand. Can you give us a little bit more information about those?
Yes, Onion Lake thermal operating costs are among the best in the Canadian industry. And as we add each phase, our overall operating costs decrease because we are taking advantage of economies of scale with our operation. In addition, compared to other oil sands and thermal projects, our wellhead price is $5 to $8 better because our oil quality and our location is advantageous compared to those other projects.
So we've been talking a lot about Onion Lake, but you have another quite amazing project in Blackrod. What's the latest update on that project?
Uh, the The BlackPearl pilot continues to produce and provides us valuable technical data. We are shovel ready for phase 1, a commercial project of 20,000 barrels a day, and we have the regulatory approval all the way to 80,000 barrels a day. Uh, in the interim, we need a partner to commence construction because all of our financial resources will be focused on expansions of Onion Thermal and our primary oil projects. Phase 1 of Blackrod will cost about $700 million. So right now, it's outside of our financial capacity to do both that project and Onion Lake Thermal.
I'm curious, John, how did you manage to finance the development of phase 2 at Onion Lake, the thermal project, with the deep downturn in oil prices that happened at the same time as you were developing this?
That's a good question. So for phase 1, we took on some debt and then we paid it off before commencing phase 2. And then for phase 2, we did the same thing. And we'll pay off most of that debt before commencing another phase. And we were able to finance Onion in an oil price downturn because the Onion Thermal project has such low operating costs. We make cash flow even during low prices. And the majority of that cash flow is free cash flow, which means we don't have to spend additional capital to keep the project at a design production. So what that means is that once all phases of Onion Lake are complete, about 80% of our cash flow will be free cash flow that we can use it to pay dividends or fund new projects such as Blackrod.